Welcome back to the channel. Tonight I've got a story that still gives me chills just thinking about it. Picture this. It's late, way past midnight. I was just settling down, scrolling through some videos when knock, knock, knock. 3 distinct loud knocks echoed from my front door. My heart immediately started pounding. Who in their right mind would be knocking at this hour? I live out in the country and neighbors are pretty far apart. I slowly made my way to the door, peering through the peephole. Nothing. Just darkness. My stomach dropped. I swallowed hard, convinced I must have imagined it. But then, a faint, chilling whisper seemed to brush against my ear, like someone was right outside, just breathing. I held my breath, straining to hear anything else, but the silence was deafening. My blood ran cold. Then, out of nowhere, a high-pitched, guttural scream ripped through the night from somewhere in the woods behind my house. It wasn't human. It wasn't animal. It was primal. I slammed the deadbolt, feeling a terror I'd never known. I didn't sleep a wink that night. What do you guys think it was? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this spine-tingling tale, please hit that like button and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. It was just past midnight when the knocking started. 3 sharp, deliberate raps on my front door. I wasn't expecting anyone, especially not at this hour. My dog Buster, a usually boisterous golden retriever, didn't even lift his head from his bed. Strange. He barks at everything. I peered through the peephole, my heart thumping a steady rhythm against my ribs. Nothing. Just the empty, dimly lit hallway of my apartment building. I unlocked the door anyway, chains rattling, and opened it a crack. The air was still. The hallway was deserted. Hello? I called out, my voice sounding small. Only silence answered. I figured it was just some kids playing a prank, so I locked up and went back to the couch. 10 minutes later, it happened again. Knock, knock, knock. Sharper this time, more insistent. Buster still didn't move, just let out a low, soft whine in his sleep. This time, I didn't hesitate. I flung the door open, ready to give a piece of my mind to whoever was out there. Again, nobody. Just the long, empty corridor stretching into shadows. Now, a cold prickle of unease started to crawl up my spine. This wasn't funny anymore. I triple-checked the locks and wedged a chair under the doorknob, just like in the movies. I know it sounds dramatic, but my mind was starting to race. I sat back down, trying to focus on the TV, but my ears were straining for any sound from the hallway. The silence stretched for what felt like an eternity. Then, a new sound began. A soft, scraping noise, right against the door, like fingernails dragging slowly down the wood. Scrap! My blood ran cold. Buster finally woke up, but he didn't bark. He scrambled backwards, whimpering, and hid under the coffee table, his whole body trembling. My own breath hitched in my throat. I couldn't move. I could only listen. Scrape, scrape. It went on for minutes, a torturous, rhythmic sound that grated on my very soul, and then it stopped. The silence that followed was somehow worse. Heavy, expectant. I held my breath, waiting, and that's when I heard the whisper. It was right at the door, a dry, raspy sound that seemed to slither through the cracks. It whispered my name. Not just my first name, my full name. A name I hadn't used on any delivery apps. A name only my close family and old friends knew. Panic seized me. Pure, unadulterated terror. This wasn't a prank. This was something else. I scrambled for my phone, my fingers fumbling on the screen as I tried to dial 911. Then the knocking came again, but it wasn't knocking anymore. It was pounding. A furious, frantic banging that shook the entire door in its frame. The chair I'd wedged underneath rattled and slid, and through the thunderous pounding I heard a scream. A terrible, blood-curdling scream of pure agony. It wasn't coming from the hallway, though. It was coming from inside my apartment. I spun around, my phone clattering to the floor. The scream was coming from me, but I wasn't the one screaming. My mouth was clamped shut, my eyes wide with terror. The scream was tearing out of my throat, but it wasn't my voice. It was a high-pitched, desperate wail, a sound no human should ever make. It filled the room, echoing off the walls, while the pounding on the door got louder and louder and louder, a relentless rhythm of doom. I was trapped, a prisoner in my own home, with a monster at my door and a stranger's scream trapped inside my own body. The pounding continued, and all I could do was stand there and listen to myself scream. Thanks for listening to my story. If you felt that chill down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the dark. Stay safe out there and maybe double check your locks tonight. See you next time.